Devon had girlfriends in high school, so people didn't get suspicious, but Fox had been what he considered his first real relationship, and he simply overreacted to his first real breakup. Looking back on his 19-year-old self, it's hard to understand why it all felt like the end of the world. If Cameron were to disappear from his life now, it will be the end of the world that he knows at least. Maybe if, for some terrible reason, it did come to an end, he'd look back 10 years from now and think the same about his 25-year-old self, but he doubts that. 5 years is a long time, and he plans to spend the rest of his life with Cameron. なるほど。まあ、あと年取るとね、もう相手を変えるのがめんどくさくなってきちゃうっていうのもあるからね。この人でいいやって思っちゃうね。Unlike that feeling in college, losing Cameron would be the traumatic, life-changing disaster. Just thinking about now makes his throat tighten. 見えないけどね、首。The abyss he's felt below his feet since he was 12, that emotional scar left over from the last traumatic event in his life seemed to yawn a bit wider. この人も子供時代にトラウマがあるのこのクマも。The bear thinks back to the point he'd been trying to make about engineers, helping to avoid catastrophic failures and why it had felt like he had been talking to himself. There's a moment in which recovery is impossible, where chain reactions of small disasters are set off that then mushroom into a tragedy. Maybe he'd been reminding himself about what could happen, or maybe he's realizing something that's already happened. Why does he feel like he's already past the point where he made a decision at the literal fork that set in motion a cascade of failures? There's no reason for him to feel that way, considering they are minutes away from leaving, but he feels hopeless now. He ignored all the signs and he turned right. Ignored all the signs. Just like all those officials who ignored signs from their departments towards bridges, dams, and spaceships, at least until everything fell apart. このクマもクマで相当追い詰められてるんだね。Time passes quickly and bantering with Artie and Devon had made Cameron forget what he was trying to do in the first place. こいつはそう、殺された女の子の犯人を探そうとしてるんだよね。霊能力を使って。He wonders if maybe that had been Devon's goal. He should be keeping his mind open, not covering up potential spirits with loud, obnoxious laughs as they reminisce about their college days. Because right now he's feeling something strange that he can't explain. Alright, ready to head out? Man, we didn't even find anything scary. You don't look for scary things. You let them happen and nothing happens, so Cameron can't leave now. Hey, Deb, please don't be mad at me. Deb doesn't say anything, and that makes Cameron squirm. Are you guys gonna fight again? Can I have 5 minutes alone, please? No. Just 5 minutes. I swear, and we'll be done. Cameron. I can feel something. I don't know what, but you guys are making it hard to hear. Cameron, the motel is right there. I'm not leaving you here. Dave's tone is so resolute, so unshaken, that Cameron shrinks into himself, realizing he has reached Dave's limit. Artie clears his throat. Not to be routine, but how about this? Me and Dave stand at the end of the road over there, so we can see you. Then we can make sure nothing bad happens. 二人がね、そばで見張ってるから、このジャッカルは一人でお化けの調査に行きたいっつってんだよ。Please, Dave, I just really need to figure something out and it's gonna bother me forever if I don't. Please? Dave is clearly taken back by Cameron's intensity, which had been Cameron's intention. Something is wrong and he needs to confirm it. Is what you're doing safe? Could it hurt you? I don't know. I don't think so. It has more to do with me than ghosts, though. Dave doesn't say anything for several seconds, seeming to be weighing multiple scenarios in his head. Okay, we'll be up the road. Please be careful and yell if you need us. Okay, thank you. でもさ、3人とも肉食獣なんだからさ、敵にいないよね。天敵いないでしょ。お化け出てきたってさ、怖くないんじゃない？ここら辺の食物連鎖がどうなってるのかわかんないけど、この世界の。Dave kisses Cameron on the head for a long moment before walking away up the road. Artie looks back and forth, confused, before following Dave. Alone now, Cameron can tell that something is definitely different. He can't put his finger on it, but it's not just him being residually high. It's almost like he can see more clearly. そう、まだ薬が抜けきってないからね。薬やってたから、この人たち。電子タバコで。Like he can see more meaning in nothing. Cameron isn't sure what to think about this. The weed is making it happen though. Just like he hoped it would. But it's weak. You can hear the voices of those who have passed just barely playing along the window. For just a fraction of a second, he thinks of trying opioids just once more and how that would truly help him see things. The thought leaves him feeling physically repulsed to the point that he almost really reaches. 読めない。The visceral reaction surprising even him. 3 years of substance abuse, the death of his mother, the death of his friend. He vividly remembers those 2 weeks when he quit cold turkey. cold turkey っていうのは薬をやめたっていう意味だよね。ソバーみたいなことだよね。ソバーって面白いね。日本そばみたいな。ザルそば。発音が面白い。Hiding away in his friend's basement in pool of sweat, shaking, having every bathroom issue possible, wanting to rip through his fur and skin, to run into the street, to run into a car. He cried constantly. He hated himself. He was worthless. He needed to die. He had to die. But at the end of those 2 weeks, he'd made it. He was hurt, but like his friends would always tell him, withdrawals and the hard part. withdrawals って妥協って意味かな。引き分け。The hard part is finding pills in a friend or relative's medicine cabinet months, even years later. The hard part is classing those pills up in neat little lines of powder, staring at them, telling yourself you don't need it. いや、本当だよね。これなんだよね。依存症の恐ろしいところって。1週間、2週間ぐらいさ、 やめるのは簡単なんですよね。ゲーム依存、ポルノ依存、ゲーム依存、2回言っちゃったけど、甘いもの依存とアルコール依存、全部そうだけど、短期間だけやめるのは簡単なんですけど、1ヶ月とか経ってから、例えばなんかストレスがかかったり、まあトリガーですよね。めちゃくちゃストレスがかかったり、悲しいことを思い出したりした時に、こう、はけ口を求めて、以前、依存してた薬物とかね、お酒とか、ポルノとか、なんでもいいけど、そういうのに前戻っちゃうことってあるんですよね。どうしようもなく。しかも我慢してた分さ、咳が、たかが外れちゃって、もう本当に歯止めが効かなくなっちゃって、めちゃくちゃやりまくっちゃうパターンって多いんですよね。リバウンドですよね。依存の。そこをどう乗り越えるかだね。だから我慢するだけじゃなくて、なんか代わりのストレス発散法とか、精神的な支えっていうのを見つけないといけないんですよね。そんなのが見つかるんならさ、話は簡単なんだけどね。健康的な依存先が見つかれば、もうみんな幸せになってるんですよ。世界中の人間が、でもそうはなってませんね。っていう話なんだね。You don't have to do it, but you do it. You always do it, no matter how many times you get clean. Someone like Cameron needed something else to keep him clean. And that's Devon, because the shame and the heartache of Devon finding out wouldn't even be worth it. But knowing this moment, any moment, can be for better with a single pill. Unfortunately, the feeling will always be there. So, no, this is stupid, and he won't touch drugs again, not even weed. ウィードは麻薬の中でも軽い部類なんだ。カジュアルな部類なんだね。この言い方からすると。The window は誰かの目線を感じたんだ。At first, Cameron is only surprised. This is something he hasn't seen in months. Not since October of last year. But still, he kinda hoped this would happen. This creature, this manifestation is somehow connected to his abilities. He'd always thought it would be mental illness. But now that he knows there's something more to all of this, maybe it's a sign, a harbinger of thoughts that might lead him to important visions. Still, something about it is especially unsettling this time. Something is wrong. Something is different, and it's more than just the raincoat monster appearing. 何レインコートモンスターって。なんかそういうアメリカの都市伝説的な八尺様みたいな。これでも別にそういう特定のモンスターがいるわけじゃないのか。海外のレインコートってめちゃくちゃ派手だね。H's and half circles. His train of thoughts cuts off as he notices a very discernible movement from the creature. Aside from a handful of moments in the past that felt like glitches more than anything else, the creature never moved. It was always like a cardboard cutout. It's no longer cardboard though. It's breathing. What's happening? He's not thinking right. This thing isn't part of Echo. Cameron knows that. So why is it acting different, more alive, as if the town is amplifying it? Maybe it's just the setting, his nerves, the weed. But now he's realizing how strange it is that he's been so relieved to find out he's psychic. Doesn't he still have problems? It's not like all of those issues were just solved. Are those the voices of the dead or something else? Are those ghosts or hallucinations? Is there different? Suddenly, a whole new wave of anxiety washes over the cocaine. 違う。Just like that, he's not sure about anything anymore. It had such a beautiful, life-changing magic of greening. He looks up the road towards where Dave and Artie are, but they are not there, and Cameron stares, wondering what's real anymore. He looks back at the monster, standing in the window. If it's a harbinger for something important, he should go into the room. Otherwise, he'll just live here knowing he's crazy, knowing he's on the verge of a fucking psychotic break. Oh, damn it. What am I doing? 泣いちゃった. And then he's moving for the window, for the monster, the whispers growing and the distortions twisting. それでも行くんだね。一方、見張り役は。Devon watches his boyfriend in the distance carefully, feeling his anxiety come down a bit as Cameron just seems to stand there. So, what's the deal, man? Huh? You know what I'm talking about, what happened. Did he see some fucked up shit earlier because you seem really worried? Care Bear だね。For a moment, Devon is glad Artie cuts himself off, but then, hey, what the fuck?何? Artie is already running up the road towards his car. Devon looks and sees a man standing next to the car, the hood up. あ、誰かいるんだ。Devon isn't sure what to do first. Either go to Cameron or follow Artie. Cameron seems obvious in the distance, which is probably for the best, and it doesn't look like the man is carrying any sort of weapon, so deciding his friend is gonna need help, he runs after Artie. Deb runs up to the car just as the old weasel-looking man headbutts Artie in the face. Ah, fuck, son of a bitch. Artie stumbles and falls on his ass. Hey. お、ハイエナかな？ Weasel って何？ Weasel っていう生き物がいるのかな？Firefox 調べてみようか。綴りがわかんねえわ。イタチだ。イタチちゃん。あは、細長いね。白イタチだね。ふふ、なんか可愛らしいね。カワウソみたいだね。これ本当？これ嘘でしょ？これ嘘でしょ、さすがに。こんなさ、こんなに大きさちっちゃいの？イタチって。これがでかいのかな？おかしいよね、これ。これは信じないよ、これは。合成でしょ、これ。イタチもいろいろ種類がいるんだ。いろんな種類がいるんだね。ヨーロピアンミンク。ミンクか。ウィーゾー。ジャパニーズウィーゾー。こんなんいた？北海道あたりにいそうだね。なんちゅらいろいろいるんだ。あ、エジプトにもいるんだ。マーライアンウィーゾー。各国にいるんだ。ドメスティックってのはアメリカのことなのかな？アマゾンウィーゾー。柄が違うんだね。いろいろいるみたいですよ。 Hey. 可愛くないね、このウィーゾー。Dave doesn't know what to say, mostly because he doesn't know why the guy just did what he did. Meanwhile, Artie means on the ground up to his forehead. That at least gives Dave a starting point. You can just fucking do that, man. What are you doing? Adjusting things. Adjusting. He shows off a pair of pillars. Devon can hear his heart pounding in his ears as he sees a toolbox balanced on the bumper. あ、直しに来てくれたんだ。Why? Give me the... Devon starts to step forward to take the pillars from the man, but a flash of light blinds him. 昇竜拳 Dave had never been hit before, not as an adult, at least. His size usually deterred anyone from trying anything, and he normally didn't get into those kind of situations anyway. So this moment takes what feels like a long time for his brain to process. He stumbles on his feet, paws uselessly outstretched, trying to refocus when something explodes in his stomach that seems to expand like a balloon under his ribcage. The bear doubles over in shock, feeling like a vacuum has opened up in his torso before he falls to his knees. 切られたのかな、みぞおちを。ニュー。かわいい。鳴き声がかわいらしい。やったね、タイちゃんで殺される不良たちの断末魔みたいな。かわいい断末魔。The long, strained sounds of agony seems to go on forever as the diaphragm refuses to work. Only now does he realize he's being punched in the stomach as well. While he's had the wind knocked out of him before, it's nothing like this. How was that? But us? Dave goes on droning in response, a small part of him considering that he might actually suffocate to death. Holy hell, man! What the fuck is your problem? Oh, you wanna know? 切れてんな、このじじい。Devon, still with his face towards the ground, only hears movement above him, but that's followed by a gasp from Artie. アメリカだね。で器用だね。この肉球の爪のついた手で引き金。殴られて銃突きつけられて。驚いちゃうね。クマでも。でもクマなら1、2発食らっても平気なんじゃない？分厚い脂肪があるから。こんな至近距離だとやばいけどね。鼻とかに撃たれたらやばいね。さあ、ゴールデンカムイとか見るとさ、銃で撃たれてもなかなか死なないよね、クマ。ちゃんと脳みそ破壊しないと、体とかに当たっても、全然止まんないもんね。やばいよね。やばいやばいやばい。I have a problem with sick fucks like you two digging around in this place because you think it's funny. Dave is only now starting to get his breath back, but his eyes are locked on the gun in his face and his insides turn to water, which has nothing to do with the punch. Where were you 5 years ago, huh? Back home with mommy and daddy, living in your middle-class houses? Thought you'd come out and see what the crazy mess heads are up to, how they all killed each other. The man adjusts his grip on the gun and Dave almost chokes with fear. Either the old man is gonna shoot him, or he's gonna do it on accident. Is this still fun? Artie's rough breathing next to Devon is the only thing that lets the bear know the cat is still there with him. Cat って言われちゃった。Dude, listen. We didn't mean you listen. You listen, dude. I gave you assholes a whole fucking day to get the fuck out, but you're still here. Since you're so goddamn comfortable, hope you don't mind being stuck here for good. 出てけという話なんだね。With that, the man turns away, sticking his gun down his pants before calmly collecting his tools, closing the toolbox, and walking off the road straight through the sagebrush. Holy shit. It's a 9-mile walk to the freeway. I suggest you leave the moment it gets cool. And that's friendly advice. There's much worse out here than me, you stupid fucks. Artie bends over Devon, who slowly stumbles to his feet. Hunched over, his stomach aching for worse than his muzzle, which he wipes clean of blood. Fuck, man, what did he do? Artie looks back to the car, and even from here, Dave can see wiring sticking out from the hood. I can't fucking believe this. Hang on, I'm getting calm. Alright, man, I'll see if this thing is even worth coming back for. Devon jogs up the road, grunting with each step, each one sending a jolt through his stomach. While the weasel hasn't moved in this direction, Dave isn't taking chances. He also needs to make sure that Coyote is. やばいよ、コヨーテ目離しちゃったから。見なくなってる。キャメロン？でもさ、お化けより銃持ってる、切れてる人間の怖いよね。でもまだ未だに自分は銃を持った人は見たことないな。本物の銃。大阪とか行くといそうだけどね。大阪とか、九州の方行くと。福岡とかね。He shouldn't be panicking, not yet, but the feeling is starting up again, and after having a gun pointed in his face, Cameron? No answer. Deb heaves for air, looking around until he sees a flash of flannel through a motel window. フラネル何服のことかな He's next to it in a second, unable to fit, so he pries back balls with his bare paws. Then he pushes through and tumbles into thick darkness. 間に合うかな Despite having seen this monster in some form or another over 15 years now, Cameron realizes he never really tried to move towards it. In the beginning, he tried to run away, of course, but it ended up following him. He never moved when he was looking at it, but the second he looked away and back again, it would appear closer, usually at a 20 to 30 foot distance. When he ran to ignore it, it just sort of blended into the background, and he almost stopped noticing it. As Cameron squeezed through the boards covering the window, he's only a few feet away from the thing. He realizes that if he makes contact with it, that if it's solid, then he won't know what to think. He never ever even considered that it might be real. But now, as those unnaturally long claws dangle from the sleeves of the raincoat, Cameron starts to worry. As he moves those last few feet, though, raincoat monster starts to dissolve into the dim lighting of the room and the coyotes inside. どういうこと？どういう状況？ It happens in a way that makes Cameron think of a mirage. But the creature is still here, not across the room. Against the wall it's ever present. The ranged green blistered to its dark furred face. 動物なんだね。 Cameron moves towards it again, slowly this time. The creature still seemingly frozen, but in a way a real person that tried to appear frozen. This creature is almost like an imitation of the one he's gotten to know so well. The one almost become a companion of sorts in his childhood. Imaginary friend みたいなこと But halfway across the dark, cluttered motel room, raincoat monster bends sideways, almost like it's gonna do a cartwheel towards the bathroom door. Its heavily clad hands don't move, though, and instead it just keeps bending like a bridge, like an arch. Arch ね。これアーチが出たね。And then it slips into the darkness of the bathroom. Cameron stares, the feeling of unease growing. Of course, shit like this always makes him feel uneasy. It makes him feel fucking crazy. But what just happened now felt deliberate, like he's being toyed with somehow. Raincoat Monster had toyed with him plenty of times before, especially the first time he saw it. It was his own mind doing it, after all. But what makes him feel nervous now is that it seems like there's something else behind it. Almost like whatever was behind his first vision in the other motel room is behind. ちょっと待って、どこで切るかわかんない。as well. So he should leave, right? Whatever that day doesn't seem to have very good intention. この語り手は誰なんだろうね。誰が言ってんのこれ。三人称なのかな純粋に。All it seems to want to do is fuck with him. If it is the same thing that hijacked his first vision, then it could look like anything. It disguised itself as Dev and said awful things to him. Disguised itself. Was that even a disguise? Disguise 変装? Is it possible Devon somehow made a call? That would be the most plausible explanation, aside from a malicious ghost being real, something he never believed until now. He trusts Deb though. Cameron looks at the boarded window. Why did Artie and Devon abandon him like this? Is this part of Devon's investigation still? Is this a setup of some kind, like a test? Cameron continues to just stand in the middle of the motel room, staring around himself. This isn't right. It's not making sense. These thoughts don't make sense. But there are some connections and he can deny that something about the whole situation is off. The voices, the whispering continues to ebb the flow. And there's a slight electronic quality to it. It's not impossible that someone could have planted a speaker in this room to make him think he's hearing the voices of ghosts. After all, Devon had been so adamant that he's not coming back to the motel with him to gather his equipment. That would been the perfect opportunity. He tries to listen to them, but they blend together and mumble quietly, but he can't make anything out. If this is a setup, then Raincoat Monster could be a real person, someone in a costume, or something is wrong. Suddenly, thinking itself is becoming difficult. It's still high, after all. But at the same time, things are suddenly making at least some sort of sense. If this is some kind of chic joke, that could explain a lot. A distant chuckle breaks through the hushed whispers. It sounds kinda like Devon. Devon なんじゃない? Devon? Cameron points his ears towards the bathroom. Artie, guys, you can really be doing this to me, right? His voice is weak, unsure, and afraid. Something clicks to his left and the coyote jumps. staring wide-eyed. Guys? In the back of his mind, Cameron knows that whatever this is, whatever is going on inside or outside his mind, is not good. He needs to get out. Suddenly, something starts. こんなさ、昼間だからまだ怖くないけどね。夜だったらもっと怖いよね。薬の影響なのかもしれないけどね。単純に。Suddenly, something starts pulling at the boards of the window. Cameron gasps, stumbling back, an explosion of fear taking over in a way that he's never experienced before. これはこれで怖いけどね、クマが来たら。人間からしてみたらめちゃくちゃ怖い。Cameron, you're in there, right? You okay? Looks like Devon, but Coyote is moving for the bathroom because he's not completely sure. Maybe if that really is Dave. 疑ってんだ。Cameron pulls the door to the bathroom closed and fumbles with the knob until he finds and presses a push lock that somehow still works. Cameron, honey, are you in here? そうか、外は明るいから見えないんだね。中の暗闇にまだ暗順応してないから。Cameron keeps quiet, pressing his paws to his muzzle, suppressing his instinctual urge to respond. Cameron listens to the bear's heavy footsteps on the ruined floor. Then the doorknob to the bathroom vibrates violently. Cameron yelps, "Stop! I'm sorry, I need to figure things out right now." There's a pause, one that seems to go on for a very, very long time. But Devon's voices echo past confused and concerned. Baby, what are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? What happened? I don't know. Why did you guys leave me? Leave you? I'm right here. まあ目離してたけどね、さっき。I looked up the road and you were just gone. Goner. Oh, Cameron, something happened. It's a little complicated, but I can tell you about it on the way out. I'm sorry I left when I said I'd watch you, but we need to go right now. Something happened. It's a little complicated. Cameron, please open the door. Devon lets out a nervous laugh. You're freaking me the fuck out right now, honey. That only puts Cameron more on edge. That Devon thinks he's the one that's acting strange. You are freaking me the fuck out. Why did you even bring me here? In the first place, is Artie there too? Another long horrible pause. アーティどこ行ったの？いや本当にこれはデブじゃないのかね。偽物なのかな。お化けが化けてるってこと？ When Dave talks again, his tone is changed completely, like he's being very careful with his words. Like Cameron is crazy. Honey, can you tell me what's wrong? Did something happen? You tell me, Devon. You're really starting to worry me, baby. Devon's voice cracks. Cameron doesn't know what to say. He doesn't have to think of what to say, because at that point, something relaxes painfully down his back. It's like a giant set of claws, and Cameron gasps, then screams as another set of claws grip over the top of his head. He's completely forgotten about the raincoat monster, but even if he remembered, he never thought it could touch him. Cameron, open the door. Open, goddammit. Stand back, Cam. The air seems to explode. At the far flimsy metal bathroom door splinters with ease, Dave having a kick in it. With some light filling the bathroom now. Cameron sees that he's fighting with nothing. He thought it to be arty. Suddenly, the bear is grabbing him, trying to hold him or pin him, and Cameron just struggles, trying to pull away. 結局クマがバスルームのドアを突き破ってキャメロンを助けに来たっていうくだりですね。クマだからね、たやすいよね。で、こういう感じね。この絵面だけ見るとちょっといやらしい感じしますね。Cameron, what happened? Please calm down. Just let me go. Let me go. Let go of me. Cameron is crying now, and it's making him gasp for air. Let's please calm. No, stop doing this to me. Just let me go. Doing what to you? What happened? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Cameron's struggle became more wild, kicking out and fighting with Dev's much stronger grip. What the fuck? Dev seems to say it to himself, almost in a whisper, as if unable to believe what's happening. Cameron isn't able to either. None of this is real, isn't it? ゲームのやりすぎなんだね。ゲームやりすぎるとこうなっちゃう。現実とファンタジーの区別がわかんなくなっちゃうんだね。怖いね。Did you set this up to make me believe or something? What? How did I do that? Speakers or costumes? I don't know. Oh, you're hurting me. 傷つけられた。Ribbon lets Cameron go finally, though he tries to hold on to him to make him to look at the bear. But Cameron takes the opportunity to escape, running right for the window, much easier to get through after Dev's entry. Cameron? もうこれ破局じゃない？ここまで来たらさ、普通は。やっていける。二人ともやっぱ精神的に不安定だからお互いに共依存してるかもしれないので、そう考えるといいカップルだよね。メンヘラとメンヘラが結構良かったりするもんね、相性。そういうことなのかな。I'm sorry, I just need to think. Cameron can't hear Devon crying now, but he can stop. He needs to get out. He needs to get away. ということで、まだ昼間なんだよな、しかし。He falls clumsily through the window, and as he stands up, he gasps as he comes face to face with Artie. Suddenly, he notices how similar the color of his fur is to Raincoat Monster. Whoa, dude, you okay? What's going on? I can hear you guys yelling all the way up. Artie trails off as Cameron backs away from the cat, keeping him in view until he can run away up the road to somewhere that's not here. Dave sobs as he fumbles to get out the window, wondering if he's dreaming. This can't be happening. He looks around the parking lot, but all he sees is Archie. That bear. Where did he go? Artie points wordlessly, and Devon jogs up the length of the parking lot to look around the motel. Cameron is nowhere in sight. Devon stares for a while, hoping to see Cameron pop out from behind one of the dilapidated structure, but he doesn't. Devon, what happened? Something's wrong with Cameron. I know, he looked totally freaked out. Did that mess head get to him too? Or something? No. I don't know. He's not making sense. He's not thinking right. What do you mean? Devon takes a deep, shuddering breath, still staring, realizing Cam might have always made it to the dirt road of Main Street. Devon rubs his face vigorously with both paws. He said something about us setting him up. やばい、統合失調症だ。被害妄想が。お化け見えるし、被害妄想も出てきたから。Setting him up? For what? I don't know. It's like he's completely... He's not in his right state of mind or something. Devon stops himself from saying completely lost it, because that just sounds wrong. Seeing no signs of Cameron, Devon suddenly feels panic bloom in his chest. What if Cameron is so far gone that he's gone running off into the desert? He'd die. Shit. Are you sure he ran this way? Dev starts walking quite quickly up the road, looking at each abandoned structure, scanning the desert landscape all the while. His panic had settled into a persistent feeling of dread and his crying is mostly under control, just sniffling every now and then. Artie follows behind him. Yeah, positive man, he was running, though. Shit. Hey, you know, he just looked really emotional. Doesn't he have panic attacks? Yeah, but that wasn't just a panic attack. Something else is going on. Has he done this before? No. Isn't he on medication? No, man, he's not on a medication. 飲んでないの。抗うつ剤飲んだ方がいい。But wasn't he? Dude, this isn't helping anything right now. Sorry, it's just that I remember him telling me he was on an antipsychotic back in college. Devon's blood runs cold. I think it was just like antidepressants or something. Why would he even tell you? Cameron? いたの Cameron. Dave's voice echoes hollowly up the street unanswered. あい叫んだだけ He was on boss. I'm pretty sure he was talking to Maria about it since she's been on a bunch of them for her bipolar disorder. バイポラーって。まあなんか、抗うつ剤と、サイキック剤飲んでたんだって。バイポラディソーダってなんだろうね。調べてみようか。気になっちゃうな。明日使える知識。だって、綴りがわかんないな。バイオポラなんだっけディスオーダー綴りが怪しい。あ、双極性障害だって。双極性障害ってのがあるんだ。バイオポラディスオーダーは、感情の変動が激しく、そう状態とうつ状態を繰り返す精神疾患です。そう状態では気分が高揚し、活動的になる一方で、うつ状態では気分が落ち込み、意欲が低下します。こういう人いるよね。ただその度合いが大きいともう病気、双極性障害って言われちゃうんだ。なるほどね。自信過剰、活動的睡眠不足、多弁、衝動的な行動、うつオーダー、強い憂鬱感、悲しみ、意欲の低下、疲労感、不眠、食欲不振など、死にたいという気持ちになることもあります。混合状態、そう状態とうつ状態の症状が混在する状態です。 それはそれでプラマイゼロになりそうだけど、そうはならないんだ。そういう状態もあるんだ。打つなら打つでね。統一されるもんかと思ってたけど、そういうもんでもないんだね。さっきのなんか安泰サイコなんとかっていうのは、抗精神薬ってことか。こう打つと抗争剤みたいなのもあるんだね。認知行動療法ね。よくあるやつ。アクト。対人関係療法。双極性障害は再発を繰り返す慢性疾患です。そういうことか。持病みたいなもんなんだね。どうやったらなるのこれ。バイポーラー。バイポーラー。バイセクシャルっていうのは2つの性って意味か。バイポーラっていうのは2つの極って意味なんだね。バイっていうのは2つって意味なんだ。バイだからかな。バイキルトみたいな。モノポーラ、バイポーラ。ということだそうですよ。I think he was just looking for advice on how to deal with the side effects, and I was psych major, so that's that. こいつは薬学学校行ってんだ。薬学っつうか、精神病精神科医なのか ?Why you? Cameron. There I was a failed STEM major. Behavioral science are the next step. なんだ行動科学でも、あれなんだ。中途なんだ。なんだっけ、ドロップアウトだね。Despite that being something Artie might normally say, it sounds forced, like he's trying to keep the mood right. All Devon can think about right now is how he couldn't have even been bothered to know what medications his boyfriend was taking and why. He just knew they made him feel like shit. So when Cameron said he just wanted to stop whatever it was he was talking, Devon encouraged him and Cameron seemed happier after that. Anyway, I'm not saying he's like なんだろうシゾフェレニック Antipsychotics can be combined with antidepressants for just plain old depression sometimes. I think he's just panicking a little. I probably if I went into the motel alone. No. Cameron was panicking, sure, but he was accusing Devon of setting him up, of tricking him. Cameron didn't trust him, and that's something Devon has never seen before. And remember, with this tolerance, he's probably still pretty high. Could just be paranoid. Devon gasps and Arturo stares at him, frozen. Then rage and horror explodes in Devon's chest. The fucking weed! そういうことね。Whoa, what happened? You fucking know he was problems, was on a medication in college, and you just let him get stoned? Artie stares. Well, I didn't remember until just now. And besides, if that's what's making him freak out, it's gonna wear off. No, he said I was tricking him. He didn't trust me, Artie. He said I was planting fucking speakers so he'd hear voices. Artie continues to stare but doesn't say anything this time. Devon does his best to avoid saying what he's thinking is happening. That's not just panic, that's more than just a... Fuck, man. his mom died because of this shit. What if he's wandering off into the middle of the desert right now and そうか。母親も錯乱して死んだんだもんな。その遺伝して、やっぱその錯乱状態になる可能性はいつもあったから、それが発現しちゃったっていうのを気にしてんだね、このクマちゃんは。まあそういう薬物とかお化けとかが引き金になって病気が発現しちゃったのかもね。そういう人間が強靭になるっていうのはさ、そういう一気になるもんなの？それともちょっとずつ毎日ちょっとずつなっていくもんじゃないのかね。なんかきっかけがあって一気にこうなるもんなのかな。認知症みたいにさ、ゆっくりゆっくりこう時間をかけて毎日ちょっとずつ悪化していくものだと思うんだけどね。Fuck man, his mom died because これ読んだね。When he had researched psychosis, he came across plenty of stories just like this. The way so many of them ended. Devon feels like he's about to throw up. After a few seconds of silence, Artie clears his throat. Listen. We don't know anything yet, but if I cause this to happen, I'm sorry. Either way, I'm gonna help you find your man, okay? It's only been 5 minutes. Devon starts to calm down a bit, breathing more evenly. Like I said, my girlfriend is a bipolar, and even though I know it's not exactly the same, she's had moments like this too, and we always come out alright. So how about we look for 20, maybe 30 minutes? I'm sure we'll find him. If we don't though, I'm gonna run my ass back up the road until I get cell services and call 911, alright? Dave takes a shuddering breath. こいつはなんか随分余裕あるね。Yeah, okay, let's go. 折れた。探しに行ったの。どこ行っちゃったんだろうね。あ、逃げ出してたんだ。Oh, there's no way, there's no way. Cameron shakes his head back and forth, unwilling to believe that Dave, his boyfriend, and the person he loves most, would do this to him. But why? Why? Devon is the one that wants to leave, that wants to protect him from the nightmarish town. How would this help at all, making all the ghosts up? Devon truly wants to understand what's happened to Lupita. Where she is. 殺された女の子ね、女子大生ね。Nowhere. So he'd want Cameron's visions to be true. Unless it's both. He could have been involved in the vision he heard by the lake, right? Or what he heard in the forest. Those were real. Cameron feels it deep down that they had to have been real. He couldn't have made up the recounting of the forest creature or the girl being murdered. Maybe Devon was worried Cameron would give up if he didn't see anything and wanted to make sure by hanging himself in the closet. あったね。クマがクローゼットで首つって死んでるっていうシーンね。幻だったけど。By creating one of the worst moments in Cameron's life. クマが首つるの大変だよ、相当。紐もさ、針も相当さ、重さに耐えられるものじゃない。200キロ以上あるんでしょ、クマ。250キロぐらいあるんじゃないかな。Devon, they never do that. They never think to do that. As he's thinking this, something flickers in Cameron's vision. It's hard to describe, but there's a vividness to what he's seeing. And then the lighting begins to change, just like a little next to the lake. The coyote stops, rigid and apprehensive, not really interested in having visions at the moment. He doesn't have a say in the matter though. あら、また異世界に来ちゃったんだ。Oh, this time, the writing takes on such a surreal, ominous, blood red glow that even though Cameron thought he was prepared, he definitely isn't. He stands in the unnatural light, feeling a bit sick, but then realizes he's actually someone else, just like when he saw the girl's life's end. But この演出は He seems to snap into his hosts and looks down at the body of a creature he can't quite make out. Yeah, this person he's become breathes heavily, doubled over, his giant paws on his knees, feeling sick. He's never killed someone before. 本当に This little pug deserved it, at least. He spits on the body, then suddenly realizes he needs to get rid of it. As far as he knows, no one knows that he's here, all the way from Peyton. If he can get rid of the body, no one will ever know he did it. 何？自分が犯人になってるってこと？犯人になっての追体験してるってこと？今何死体を片そうとしてるんだ？そして。He prepares himself, finding it easier and easier to come to terms with the murder. The thrill he got from it, the swooping feeling in his chest that immediately made his dick get hard. It's a bit boring, even to him. よくさ、誰か殺して性的に興奮するみたいな描写がありますけど、異常犯罪とかでね。本当なのかね。ちょっとよくわかんないな。よく聞くよね。いやちょっと個人名言うのはあれだな。やめとこうか。日本の犯罪者の人の自伝みたいなのでもそういうのありましたよね。ありましたよ。小学生をね。なんか共通してますよね、そういうの。不思議と。何なんだろうね。性欲を犯罪の力に消化って言っちゃうとあれだけどさ、変えちゃってるってことなんかね。With a deep breath, he leans down, but then suddenly feels like he's being watched. Slowly he looks up. 誰かいるのかい？He hovers over the road, watching him. He'd seen a handful of UFOs, all of them while he was in Echo. 嘘でしょ？ SF なのこれ。He'll come to realize that it wasn't aliens, but whatever the fuck people believe it in. It was supernatural or something, like a ghost. Suddenly thinks back to last week when the space shuttle blew up while his clothes watched it on TV. He'd been the only one to laugh when it happened. Not really because it was funny, because it was so unexpected and so boring up until that point. To him, that's the only way space could be haunted with ghosts. But for some reason, he doesn't think anything living, or at least anything that was living, is involved with this. What he realized is that those crafts made of metal, glass, and covered in lights are empty. As far as he's concerned, there is no difference from the ghosts. Ghosts that want people at all. They are hollow shells, only there to feed on the sick feeling he got when seeing them only there to watch him so that the small amount of guilt he had might grow just a little bit bigger. And tonight, aliens will visit him to torture him, to violate him. Not really aliens, but the same thing as the ghosts that people see in this town. It's all the same. So he ignores as he gets to work and it hovers over his head, even as he feels its red eyes on the back of his neck. なんだろう、いろんなことが同時進行してるよ。Cameron isn't sure what to think right now. A UFO? What? While the shadow creature in the forest had been strange, he hadn't seen it. He only heard someone recounting it. Cameron assumed that man in the vision wasn't in the right mind. Maybe misinterpreted what he was experiencing. But this full brown craft in the sky above a dead body. Now Cameron is almost positive he's been toyed with like a raincoat monster in the motel room. It just makes him feel like he's going crazy and it reminds him that for some inexplicable reason, he thought Dev might be in on it. How did he even consider that Dev could be involved in this? Besides, even now, despite it being almost completely silent, aside from the crunch of his footsteps on the gravel road, the voices are insistent, even louder, and how would he hide speakers out here, in the middle of the nowhere? Now that he's focusing on those voices, he can actually start making out some words, sentence fragments, singing this tongue. Sins of cities are always, you piece of shit, stop doing. Every time he catches a new voice, it fades away before it finishes what it's saying. Cameron stops so he can hear better, ears up. But the voices fade back to very noticeable whispers on the wind. Cameron remembers those ghost hunting shows he'd watched a few times, the way they're always trying to communicate, so he clears his throat awkwardly. Hello? Are you trying to talk to me? Do you have something you'd like to say? Cameron isn't even sure he should be saying you, because the voices are such a mixture of many. 順調に行かれてきてんな、キャメロン。幻聴、幻覚、パニックアタック。これは本当に現実なのかな、でも。何が起きてるでしょうね。But why would they all congregate on this one dirt road? Either way, they seem to have moved on, so Cameron starts walking again. It's something we should see. You think you're so stupid shit. Again, Cameron stops and so do the voices. 歩くと聞こえるんだ、声が。Hello? Silence. The word doesn't even really make sense. If the ghosts are trying to talk to him, wouldn't they say something useful? Maybe they just don't like him. And if it's a replaying of something in the past, why are they just babbling nonsense? Cameron sighs and takes a step. You stew. どういうことなんだろうね。The coyote freezes, suddenly making a connection. He looks down at his foot, then brushes it back and forth over the gravel. Stupid sack of shit. Cameron stares. Coming from the gravel, from the sounds of it. Anyway. 砂利が歌ってるってこと？ A gentle wind tickles over the fur in his ears and the whispers continue. おかしくなっちゃうね、こんなの。あ？Oh, suddenly, he back in his trailer with his mother. 子供の頃に戻っちゃったね。 でも本当にさ、辛い時の記憶って思い出せないもんだよ。子供の頃の記憶って。もう心が思い出させまいときっとしてくるんだろうね。そういう記憶ってさ、意図的なのか無意識なのか分かんないけどさ、記憶からすっぽり抜けちゃうものだよ。本当に辛いことはって。あるいは思い出そうとすると、なんか、体中の力が抜けて何も考えられなくなっちゃうみたいな。頭が真っ白になっちゃう。みたいな反応になると思うんだけどね。そこまで辛いことじゃなかったのかもな。あるいは自分の中でいろいろ腹落ちして向き合えるようになったから、こうやって思い出せるようになってきたのかもね。まあ子供の頃の記憶って消えないってよく言いますからね、実際は。じじいばばあになってもさ、子供の頃の話だけ覚えてる人いっぱいいるもんね。戦時中はどうだったとかさ、どうでもいいようなこと。どうでもよくはないんですよ。いやー、そういうのはね、伝えていかなければいけないことだとは思うんですけどね。ただ若い人はさ、自分たちの生活で精一杯なんだからさ、他人の生活なんて気にしてらんないよね。みんななんかうんうんって聞いてくれるけどさ、年寄りの話って、昔話って。みんなで聞き流してるだけですからね。はいはいはいつって。本当に心から聞いてる人はいません。ドキュメンタリーの記者ぐらいだよね、聞く人は。現実。まあ、それが正常だと思いますけどね。別に、何が正しくないとかじゃなくて、それが普通の状況だと思うんですけどね。普通の状況が普通に起きてることを楽しんだり、笑ったりする必要はないんだよね。当たり前のことが起きてるだけなんだもん。リンゴが赤い、バナナが黄色いっていうことに対して何か感じますかっていうことだよね。何も感じませんよね。まあちょっと良くなかったな、今のは。リンゴは青い場合もあるし、バナナも緑色の場合はあるから。ちょっと今の例は良くなかったですね。そして、He is lying back on the couch, nodding out after snorting his pills. His mother, on the other side of the trailer, is kneeling amongst the debris of markers for arch shapes. She had always been meticulously clean, emphasizing that while they might live in a trailer, they can still make it look nice. But over the past year, she seemed to care less and less, and now dishes were used and never cleaned, boxes of takeout opened and left where they were eaten. Cameron himself couldn't be bothered to tidy up. It's easier now that his mom doesn't give a fuck. He can do his trucks right in front of her now. 行き着くところまで来たって感じだね。トレーラーハウスです。ゴミ屋敷で。母親の前、母親も行かれてて、自分は薬やってるっていうね。これ以上、下があるのだろうかっていう状況ですね。あるんだけどね。もちろん。物事には加減ってものがないからね。The post-it notes これだね。And strips of fabric tied to every arch his mother spotted. Even two things Cameron is pretty sure aren't arches. Made the place look like a disaster anyway. What does bother him though, as he watches her half-lighted eyes at the way she looks. Her fur is disheveled and sticking up in different places, and she's in the same clothes she's been in for a week. She's started to have a strange odor about her, but Cameron felt too weird telling his own mom she smelled bad. It's sad. He almost wishes she'd scream at him and slap him like she did whenever she found his tracks. Almost. Yeah, because right now he feels so good and he seems happy enough to listen to the fun. 悲しいね。でも確かにさ、親が精神病になったり、アルツハイマーになったり、糖尿病になったり、まあ何でもいいんだけど、病気になって自分が一緒に暮らして世話しないといけないってなったらめちゃくちゃ落ち込んじゃうよね。きついよな。結局でも自殺してよかったよね、母親。あのままぶっ倒れて介護することになってたらさ、ますます悲惨になってたと思うよ。医療費とかもかかるし。まあ、よかったんじゃない？ギリギリ。不幸中の幸いと言いますか。置いて逃げたわけでもないしね、キャメロンは。母親を置いて逃げ出したわけでもないもんね。一応死ぬまで一緒にはいたわけだ。でもここら辺で麻薬中毒になるっていうのはちょっとアメリカらしいですよね。日本じゃあんまないもんね。麻薬中毒になるみたいな。引きこもりにはなるけどね。麻薬中毒にならんよな。まあ実際麻薬がもし解禁されたら、引きこもりプラス麻薬中毒になる人増えそうですけどね。通販とかで麻薬買ってさ、引きこもりが親の金で大麻買ってきてっていうことになりそうですよね。救いはあるんでしょうか、この話に。Cameron covers his muzzle at pounding, listening to the whispering wind. No, no. His eyes blur with tears. He turns around because he's worried someone might be watching him, and his feet scrap the gravel. Sadness seems to always. Cameron covers his ears, feeling the now familiar rising tide of panic in his chest. He's going crazy. Just like his mother. He's losing his mind. But his mother changed over the course of months. This is so sudden. He's never heard voices before. Or has he? That hallucination he'd had of a demon hanging, that was a voice. But that could have been a dream too. Now Cameron's breathing is really starting to get out of control, and he wants to run back to Devon and apologize. Just so they can hold each other again. Of course, Devon wouldn't fuck with him over this, and Cameron can't understand why he'd thought that. Seemed like a possibility just 5 minutes ago, but something holds him from running back right now, and that's because if he's crazy. If he's crazy, he doesn't want Deb to see it. Sure, he'd had a few nervous breakdowns and a panic attack in the first few years of the relationship, but that's normal crazy. Yeah, it's normal crazy. This is actually crazy. Real. It's real. It's psychotic. And while Deb would hold him, comfort him, take him away from this place, who'd so say what would happen after that? Behind his outgoing nature and warm smile, Deb would be doubting their relationship. He always is. Already is. He'd be worn down by Cameron's deteriorating mental state. His deteriorating hygiene, the deteriorating of the man he once knew as the spiral into delusions deepens. Stop it! Stop it! I'm not mom. No, but you're her son. That voice, the one that comes from inside his head. 本当にね、親みたいにはなりたくないって思うけどね。でも、ちょっとさ、ちょっとひょっとした瞬間にさ、ふっとした瞬間に、なんか自分、親みたいだなっていう態度に出ちゃってる時があって、その時本当に落ち込みますよね。自分の親みたいにさ、キレ散らかしたりさ、神経質になって他人の悪口言ったりした時に、うわっみたいな。親みたいなことしちゃったって思って、めちゃくちゃ落ち込みますよ。でもね、やっぱ遺伝もあるからね。ほんと嫌になっちゃうね。100% 違う人間になれないんだよな。認めたくはないけど。多分 80%、90% ぐらい違う人間になれるけど、10% が消せない部分もあるんだよな。そこを限りなく 99% に近づけていくのが大事なんだな。The one that doesn't feel like his inner voice. The one that won't shut the fuck up. Cameron is walking back the way he came. Back towards Devon. Toward what he knows is real and safe. But is he? Yes. Even though he is scared, he says it confidently, and strangely enough, he feels what seems like a pause on the voice's end, like it's not quite sure how to respond. Good. Cameron thinks, this time with his own thoughts. He makes sure to walk to the side of the road, the dusty, somewhat rocky surface preferable to the whispering gravel. やだね、喋る砂利。Devon keeps trying to figure out how things could have gone so wrong. His feeling earlier about an impending catastrophic failure now feels fully validated. It's happened. He took those courses emphasizing engineering ethics. He studied cases in which every step of a disaster was detailed and exactly how each step was preventable. He took great care in his career to make sure he'd never become one of those case studies that the machines he helped design were as safe as possible. And what he'd already thought is, it's a fact. He didn't even know Cameron was on an antipsychotic at some point, just he was on meds. I forgot to take my meds. He knew Cameron's problems were concerning, and he reassured himself with a crash course in abnormal psychology. But he was never as openly disdainful as his peers. The idea of trying to explain complex behavior through endless theories was frustrating, so to say at the least. He jokingly laughed to him being one of those people who simply needed a solid answer, a number. But he also remembered those months when Cameron was on his medication. One night he had Dave shit with him in the art building on campus. It was late, and no one was around, as Cameron must then angrily bashed on the keys of the grand piano, asking him if any of it sounded good. Dave said it sounded fine. Then the coyote finally broke down, saying he couldn't write music anymore. That emotionally, things had become black and white. That there was a wall between him and who he was. that the medicine he was taking was the reason why he fucked up his chance with the label. And as Cameron sobbed over the piano, Devon had decided that psychology doesn't know a thing about how people work. The psychiatrists might as well be drug dealers with an office. It had been the same for his mother after what happened with Lupita. Even now, she struggles with her addiction to benzodiazepines, something carelessly prescribed to her, so she'll stop wearing all the time. To Devon, it seemed like psychology never moved past lobotomies. そんなことないでしょ。さすがに。Instead, they just converted it into pills. まあね。確かにそうかもね。100% 副作用のない薬ができればね。一番いいけどね。なんであんな副作用出ちゃうんだろうね。And he never really changed that mindset, and it's why he never encouraged Cameron to seek some sort of help, especially if he didn't want it. てかさ、まずなんで薬をやるんだろうっていう話だよね。現状に不満があったり、不安があったり、恐怖とか、満たされないものがあるからみんな薬使うんだよね。もうさ、世の中いろいろ進化して、さあ、便利になってきたのになんでまだ不安になっちゃうんだろうね。自分もそうだけどさ。安定した仕事とか、安定した人間関係がさ、結局手に入らないからなんだよね。どんなにテクノロジーとか、国が大きくなって、制度が大きくなってもさ、結局、安定した仕事も、子供の頃からちゃんと努力して、コネ作って、運も良くてってないと、本当に一部の人しか手に入んないからね。で、人間関係もさ、最初は自分で選べないし、それに、大人になってからも、ちゃんと自分で努力してやっていかないと意識的に。特に人間関係にトラウマとかがある人は人一倍さ、努力しないと、普通のこういう健全な人間関係が築けないから、ハードルが高くなっちゃうんですよね。生きていく。幸福になるね。ハードルがね。まあ求めすぎかもしれないけどね。ある程度折り合いをつけられればいいんですけど。でもやっぱ相対的に見て、周りの人とか、自分の理想とする人が、自分よりずっといい環境にいると、どうして自分はダメなんだろうって考えちゃって、で、もう努力するのも嫌になっちゃって、まともにね。だから、現実逃避の道に行っちゃうんでしょうね。自己破壊の道にね。それよくわかるけどさ。昔はそれが、そういう狂った人を治療するのがロボトミーだったんだけど、今は薬が同じことしてんだって言ってんだって。もうそうね。オピオイズ問題とかはそうですよね。廃人大量生産してるからね。アメリカの。特に退役軍人の人たちとかね。社会問題になってますよね、めちゃくちゃ。And he never really changed the mindset, and it's why he never encouraged Cameron to seek some sort of help, especially if he didn't want it. What he took away from his research is of any kind of a serious concern and should never be brushed off. But he had done just that with the idea that maybe there's more to hallucinations for some people than psychology will ever understand. Maybe it's ghosts. Devon wants to hit himself. In fact, he wishes the Weasel Man had added a kick in the nuts to go with the gut punch. Something else to help remind him how utterly stupid he is. The concept of the paranormal is so far from his mind at this point that he doubts he'll ever be double in it again. See, there he is, dude. 見つけた。Devon looks up, and sure enough, he sees Cameron running toward them. The smile of relief on the coyote's face seems to break the dam of emotion in Dev's chest. The wild look he'd had earlier, the one that had looked at him as if he were a stranger, is gone. The next thing he knows, he's running too. He wonders why Cam is running on the rough rocks and the thorny vegetation, but Devon joins him and Cameron runs into his chest with a thumb. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell I was. Stop, you're fine. That's all I care about. I'm Care Bear, you're fine. But I don't know if I am. You are here and you're fine and we're gonna go home, okay? Yeah. Careful. Devon rocking them back and forth on the uneven rocky ground sends them to the dirt, but Devon just puts Cameron into his lap, still hugging him tightly. Meanwhile, Artie is looking away, seeming to have spotted something very interesting in the miniature forest just off the road, though he's smiling. I'm so sorry for bringing you here. I don't know what else to say. I'm just sorry. よかったね、仲直りできて。Nobu, this is your fault, okay? Cameron stays quiet, and Devon is content to just hold the coyote, both of them sniffling. Meanwhile, the coyote plucks at the sagebrush that's rubbing up against them, which... まあこういう支えてくれる人がいてよかったよね。which he holds to his nose. You know how I hate the dessert? Devon tries to adjust to the jarring shift in conversation, but goes along with it, assuming Cameron just wants to focus on other things for now. I'm starting to hate it too, actually. Cameron inhales the sprick of a sagebrush in his paw again. Well, I love the smell of the 何これセージブラッシュってさっきから。俺のこと？この草の名前？ The way the whole desert smells like it. I suppose it's alright. There's something about it that reminds me of a Christmas. That's weird coming from someone who grew up surrounded by pine forests, like when we went up to my dad's cabin. Now that's a smell I can get behind. I guess I got too used to it, and the sagebrush is just different. The desert version of pine forests. Pines can grow in the desert. Then I mean the ones in the northwest. We should go to your dad's cabin again. That was fun. Oh really? I thought you didn't like it. In all honesty, Deb hadn't either. He had meant to take Cameron ice fishing like his father had taken him so many times. The second they got there, though, he realized how woefully underprepared he was. I complain too much, but we should go in the summer so we don't have to dig through 4 feet of snow just to open the cabin. Dave almost laughs at the memory of being so exhausted by the time he opened the cabin that his plans to romantically make love to Cameron went out the window the second they got in bed. Yeah, I'll ask my dad about it when we get back. I just wanna be somewhere with you. Away from this, all of this. Yeah, far away from this. Dave, I don't think I'm actually psychic. I hallucinated a UFO a little bit ago. That's not real. Oh, you just saw one? Well, in my mind, I was someone else. I saw a dead body. I saw a spacecraft in the sky. It didn't make sense. I see. Well, you won't have to worry about it. We out of here. I really hope we won't. Dave isn't going to ask him to elaborate or tell him that UFOs are commonly reported in Echo. メキシコなのここ。メキシコでよく出没するって言うよね。UFO. Especially in times when a supernatural activity is at its peak. While he wants to convince Cameron he isn't mentally ill, he knows that's not what he should be doing right now. Even though he wants to deny it, he doesn't know if it's true or not. He believes Cameron is psychic, but that's taken a backseat to the possibility that something else is happening too, and Dave can be the one to figure that out for Cameron. He can only be there to support him. Oh shit! I think Artie is in the forest. Eh? Sure enough. Artie is disappeared. 消えた。UFO あれかななんとかカーミレーションみたいな。キューティーレーションだっけ Oh yeah, well, he'll be alright. We'll just call for him. Not really a big forest any... Deb, that's where the shotgun guy is. Oh fuck, I forgot. Deb stares at the tree lines hopefully. Deb, we have to get him. Well, he shouldn't be fine at all. Anyway, we can warn him real quick, but let's keep our voices down. やばい、また銃持った人が来ちゃう。They get up and move towards the forest. Dave wants to tell Cameron to wait on the road, but at the same time, he's worried about losing him again, right? After finding him. そうね。それはあるかも。といったところで、今日は終わります。